we have learned what the types of speeches according to purpose are, the next thing to learn is how to deliver them. Let us look at some familiar personalities and examine how they deliver their speeches.
Our commitment and our strong links to Hong Kong will continue and will, I am confident, flourish as Hong Kong and its people themselves continue to flourish.
There are many such occasions for young people to meet in their parishes, in their dioceses, and for the past 10 years.
The method where the speaker clearly reads his speech from a text or manuscript is called reading from a manuscript. How is the manuscript speech delivered? Among the 4 types of speech according to purpose, it is the speech which is seemingly the easiest to deliver. This is so because the speaker holds on to it as he or she talks to the audience. Let's look at this example.
Mr. President, Mr. Secretary General, developing countries are justifiably preoccupied with the overall downward trend in ODA since 1992. They certainly expect immediate halting and reversal of...
Notice that the speaker had to glance at his or her manuscript once in a while. This does not mean that she or he has no mastery of the speech. It merely means 2 things. That the manuscript script has to be pre-written, and the speaker holds on to it as he or she delivers. The manuscript speech is used in formal speech occasions. Let's look at a speech class where the teacher asks his students to deliver another type of speech.
Okay, class, today we will have a contest. What I have here are slips of paper with various topics written on them. And I will call upon individual students to draw a topic and to talk about it for as long as he or she can. Meaning, the student should pick a paper, read what is written on it, and immediately talk about the topic written on the piece of paper. Is everything clear? Okay, I will now distribute the pieces of paper. Please get one. Okay. And you. Here. Thank you, and you. Okay? When I say go, open the piece of paper and read what is written on it. Go. Okay, now I would like to call on Melanie.
It is a very easy task to win friends. It has never become a problem for me to find them. One key factor is to display a very good disposition all the time, a sweet smile, and an accommodating look.
You must have noticed how the teacher made it clear to the students that they had to talk about the topic on the spot or on the spur of the moment. How do we call this type of speech delivery? We call it an impromptu speech. How different is it from a manuscript speech? Apparently, the impromptu speech calls for no preparation at all. This means that the speaker is so well versed with the topic that he or she talks about it anytime he or she is asked to. The 3rd type of speech, according to how it is delivered, is called the memorized speech. Let's look at this example.
As I heard the door open, I hid under the table. As the man in white entered, Lisa? Lisa? Where are you, Lisa? Lisa? Oh, there you are, Lisa. Here, take your medicine. Medicine? I need no medicine. I am not sick. I need no medicine. Come down, Lisa. Come down. I'm your friend, and I'm here to help with your burdens. Burdens? Burdens in life? Burdens! Would you like to hear a story, Doctor? Yes?
The Filipino way is our legacy. It is found in the determination and the fortitude. The determination that made it possible for our brothers in the mountains to build the breathtaking rice terraces. It is found in our courage, in the courage to sustain us at Mactan, at Tirad Pass, in Bataan. It is found in our simplicity and modesty, in the beauty of the Angelus at twilight, in the sincerity of our devotion to our God and our country. These qualities are still in us, in all of us. They are still in our minds, in our hearts.
How different is the memorized speech from the manuscript and the impromptu speeches? As the name implies, this type of speech is recited from memory. The piece may not be original in nature, as in a declamation piece. Normally, declamation pieces are derived from existing sample poems or prose. Or it could be original, as in the case of oratorical pieces. They have to be preconceived and pre-written, for it is the substance of the oratorical piece which is considered most important. What is the last type of speech according to delivery? Why don't we go back to the classroom and find out what this is?
Class, today I would like you to deliver a type of speech that will give you ample time for you to gather your thoughts before delivery. Unlike in the previous session wherein you were asked to deliver a speech at the spur of the moment or right there and then. Okay? This time, remember, it will be much easier for you. Okay? Again, we have here slips of paper with various topics written on them. And I will ask you once more to draw a topic from the group of topics here. But this time, I would like you to gather your thoughts for 3 minutes before you start talking about the topic. Okay? Now, I would like to call on Ivy to draw the first topic. Ivy, just pick one.
How do we call the type of a speech? We call it the extemporaneous speech, where the speaker is given time to collect his or her thoughts before delivery. Unlike the impromptu speech, the extemporaneous speech needs some time on the part of the speaker to prepare. Here, obviously, the speakers didn't have formal preparation before they spoke about the subject matter. This is called the impromptu speech. Let's summarize what we have discussed so far. We've said that there are 4 types of speech according to delivery. And these are the manuscript speech, which is preconceived, pre-planned, and pre-written. The speaker, though, is expected to have internalized the speech and not merely memorized it. When the speech is delivered from memory, it is called memorized speech. A speech which is delivered on the spot or on the spur of the moment is called the impromptu speech. And the speech which calls for some preparation is called extemporaneous speech. We now move on to the ways of delivering speeches effectively. Observe the following situation where the teacher reads an excerpt from We Filipinos Are Mild Drinkers by Alejandro Roses. Listen to how he reads it. Is this what good delivery is?
Carpio the Carabao shook his head, and his widespread horns scooped the turbid water on his back. He rolled over and was soon covered with slime. An expression of perfect contentment came into his eyes. Then he switched his tail, and Joe and I has to move back to keep from getting spattered.
Now, with a different way of reading and delivering the same story, let's see the difference.
Carpio the Carabao shook his head, and his widespread horns scooped the turbid water on his back. He rolled over and was soon covered with slime. An expression of perfect contentment came into his eyes. Then he swished his tail, and Joe and I had to move back from getting splattered.
Did the teacher look and sound natural this time? Did he use the correct rate of speech, the appropriate gestures and bodily movements? What make up good speech delivery? What elements are primary to good delivery? These are eye contact, effective voice, and appropriate bodily gestures and movements. Let's see one speech situation in a class where the teacher fails to establish eye contact with his students.
Class, what do you think is the difference between plain democracy and disciplined democracy? Or is there any difference at all? Can anybody tell me?
What went wrong? Why couldn't the teacher get answers from his students? Well, nobody knew who he was talking to. He simply could not look straight in the eye of his students. He failed to establish eye contact. Now, let's look at the same teacher who does it correctly this time.
Class, what do you think is the difference between plain democracy and disciplined democracy? Or is there any difference at all? Can anybody tell me? Yes, Kurt.
Sir, plain democracy is the kind of democracy we Filipinos enjoy. I mean, it is freedom of speech, religion, and others.
What about disciplined democracy?
Sir, disciplined democracy is the kind of democracy our fellow Asians enjoy. It is coupled with certain limitations and boundaries.
Wasn't the teacher that effective this time? He succeeded in getting answers from his students. He communicated well because he established good eye contact. Whether the speech is done publicly or in the classroom, there is no other means of nonverbal communication which is more powerful and articulate than the eyes. When used properly, they can reflect the sincerity and the conviction of the message or idea of one's speech. For small groups, you can tell your students to make eye contact with everyone, but only for a few seconds at a time. Anything longer than that can make some people feel conscious or uncomfortable. For larger groups, they can make eye contact with one section of the audience at a time. However, they should not do it mechanically, using the left to right pattern. They should appear to do it randomly or naturally.